just a few weeks away. What's up guys, Andrew here on my channel Gear Inc., where I get to share what I'm passionate about with you. And on my channel it's PC tech, games, and gear. And today we're talking about RAM speed for the new Ryzen 3000 CPUs, which one should you get, and we're also going to be talking about some pricing from Amazon for some of the new motherboards. Thankfully, I mean, my video on my opinion on the pricing being too high, obviously a lot of people slammed me for that because my opinion that I thought that by AMD placing themselves as kind of a premier option, they essentially may these motherboards may be too expensive for the majority of what their consumers want, and a lot of you guys disagree with me on that. That's totally fine. But the two SKUs that we do find, one of them is a much more manageable price for me, so I'm excited about that. But let's talk about today's topic. We're going to start off with RAM speed. Now, AMD for their current lineup recommend 3200 16 case latency RAM, kind of as a sweet spot for price performance. For their new Ryzen 3000 CPUs that are going to be coming out in July, they recommend 3600 16 case latency for their best price performance, although they did mention that they were easily able to put 4200 RAM kits into their motherboards and it ran perfectly. This is fantastic news for anyone who's been on the AMD chipsets, because you know that memory support has not been the best, and definitely getting those higher RAM speeds has been difficult. So having a more support on that end, it definitely is great, especially because Ryzen CPUs work off their Xfinity fabric, which basically means that in terms of the memory buffer, allowing those CPUs to communicate with each other, RAM speed directly ties into how fast that happens, directly affecting performance to a degree that it really doesn't affect Intel the same way. Now, in terms of if you don't quite understand RAM speed and case latency, I'm going to link an article here from Crucial that I think explains it the best. RAM speed is usually typically more important than case latency up to a certain point, but the lower case latency you have, the more performance you're going to have. Basically, RAM speed is the amount of cycles per second, like how many processes happen per second. So if it's at 3600, that's 3600 cycles a second that are happening, whereas case latency is the amount of time from when a command is received to when it's actually issued. So it's kind of like the lag time between click and action actually happening on the screen. That's not an exact metaphor, obviously, but just kind of a general idea of how that works. RAM speed matters all day long, especially with AMD. 3600 and 16 case latency appears to be the sweet spot. Now, this is kind of a hard pill to swallow, because looking around on what's available right now, the cheapest 3600 megahertz kits with 16 case latency are going to run you between $130 to $160, which is for a 16 gigabyte kit, which is a little rough considering that RAM overall has been going down in cost, and the 3000 and 3200 kits you can find for easily under basically $100. So I'm going to be testing out both of these because I have 3200 in my system right now, and I plan on getting a 3600 kit at 16 case latency to compare to actually see if there's a realistic performance gain from going to their recommended. But the very fact that you can even go higher than that and supposedly it'll work out of the box is great news all around. And if you're going to be buying these kits, a lot of these you'll notice for XMP profiles have already been done for Intel, so just know that I'm expecting them to work with AMD just fine, although the timings haven't been set up for AMD's XMP profiles for some of these RAM kits, so just check that before you purchase one. In terms of motherboard pricing, there's two that came out from MSI in the Netherlands on Amazon. The first one is their MSI Pro X570 chipset. This is kind of the lower end, I think, for MSI, but it comes in right around $260 US. A little bit expensive, but much more manageable compared to what we've been seeing for a while. This is actually available for pre-order right now in the Netherlands, I guess, if you live there and you want to hop on Amazon. Now, the other one is the MSI Godlike, and this comes in over $800 US, which is quite expensive considering that this isn't a limited edition like the one that Asus made with a custom water block on the front of it. Now, here's the thing. $800 in Europe is not going to be the same here in the US in terms of US parts, like North America or US where I live. Usually computer parts are cheaper by a significant margin. So I wouldn't be terribly surprised, for example, if that ends up being closer to $700, maybe even $600 in the United States. European computer parts tend to run much higher due to import taxes and other things like that. Although with the current US-China trade war kind of going on right now, we very well may see higher prices for PC parts coming out. But $260, even if that ends up being for that board, that is for me a much easier pill to swallow. I would not throw, I mean, for me personally, there's no reason to throw $800 on a motherboard like that. I just don't have any need for it. Now, where I'm kind of actually don't really know what I want to do is I don't know if I want to buy a 12-core CPU when it comes out on the 7th, or if I want to wait for the 16-core coming out basically like 2 months later. And so I don't know necessarily if I'm going to be buying these this day they come out. I may wait for the 16-core variant before I make my purchase, but I'm going to follow these things closely, and so obviously and share my information as I get it. So anyway guys, I hope that was informational for you. So 3600, 16K latency again is what AMD recommends if you're going to be buying the RAM kit. For price performance, obviously higher RAM, you're going to get better performance, but at the cost, it just may not make a lot of sense in terms of, dollar to performance numbers. And then thank goodness that X570, we're seeing some boards in the sub $300 range. I can live with that. I certainly am not gonna throw $500 or $600 though on a new motherboard. No matter how good it is, for me, that's just out of my price range. And I think it's out of the price range for a lot of people, even if you're gonna be buying these new CPUs. So anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go and leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't, go and leave me a thumbs down. Remember to get subscribed and hit that bell icon so you know when these new videos drop. As always, thanks to my Patreon and Twitch subscribers. Patreon get access to things like these custom wallpapers that we do every month from artists individually every time. They're all original pieces. And on Twitch, I do stream on the weekend. So thank you for everyone who joins in. I've been looking for some new games to stream as of late, and that's kind of something I do for fun, but I appreciate your support. Thanks to everyone who uses my Amazon affiliate links. If you're going to be buying any computer parts, consider using it down in the description below, as all that money goes back in the channel. You can also join our Discord of computer enthusiasts and PC gamers. We have a great community who loves both. So if you want to join that and DM me directly, we have groups of people who play games together. We talk shop. It's a nice little community we have, and that's down in the description as well. As always, guys, I'm going to continue to make these videos whether you watch them or not, but I hope you do, and I hope to see every single one of you next time here on Geared Inc. But anyway, guys, I hope that was informal. Yeah, I just, sub $300. Thank goodness. That's still pricey, but I can live with that. I'm probably not going to be able to wait, so I'm going to buy a 12 core. We'll see.